My name's Tom Peter and today I'm going to take you through a 30-minute dumbbell arms and abs workout. You can do this as a follow along with me using just one pair of dumbbells. We're going to start with a very brief warm-up, then we'll move on to section 1. We're going to do 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off for 6 exercises, and we'll be alternating bicep, tricep and ab exercises. Let's get started with that warm-up. So we're going to start off just with a body weight warm-up, getting things loosened up a little bit. We're going to start with some supinating curl to pronate, just your fingers spread nice and wide. You don't need any dumbbells for this, we're just working on the mobility. So if you start with your hands down by your side, fingers spread nice and wide, let's curl up to the top, turn it over and then push down to the bottom. Turn it forwards. We're aiming for as big a range of motion as you can manage with this. We're just going to do 30 seconds. Try and keep those elbows tucked to the side. When you pronate forwards, you'll be tempted to flare them out, but I want you to keep them tucked in. That'll be a good habit for later in the workout. Next up, we're going to move onto some wrist circles. So I want you to keep straight arms now. We're just going to be circling one direction. We'll change direction in a few seconds time, just getting that maximum range of motion possible. And let's take it back round the other way. It's good to just to get the wrists warmed up, get the blood flowing through them. Just a couple more seconds. Okay, I want you to come to one edge of your mat. You're going to hinge at the hip. Feel the hamstring stretch, walking it out, walking it back to touch your toes, and then standing up. So we're going to hinge at the hip, feel those hamstrings. You can't reach the floor, flex, and then if you still can't reach the floor, you can bend your knees. We're just doing this because we want to warm around the torso up, around the hips, ready for those ab exercises as well. So on this last one, let's walk it out, and you can flip onto your back now, and we're gonna bring the knees, and we're just gonna do some side to side drops. The key to doing this well is to keep the opposite side shoulder on the floor at all times. We've just got one more exercise after this in the warm-up, and then we'll go into the main workout. All right, onto your feet. We're going to go over under, so I'm going to reach one over the top, one under. This is probably my worst mobility area, but it's good to just get things moving. If you can touch your hands, great. If not, just get as close as you can. We're just getting that nice tricep stretch overhead, and then a little bit of anterior shoulder stretch on the lower arm. So just keep going, a couple more seconds. All right, so you're going to need a pair of dumbbells for this. I'm going to be using some 12.5 kilo dumbbells, but pick whatever's appropriate for you. I've got some 10 kilo dumbbells here spare as a backup if they're feeling too heavy. I'm going to start off with something called a Zottman curl. So if you pick your dumbbells up, you're going to curl the dumbbells up. You'll pronate to a reverse curl at the top and lower like that. So you're going to curl to the top, pronate over, slowly lower down, and repeat. Remember what I said before, when you turn into that overhand position at the top, try not to let your elbows chicken wing out to the sides. You're going to try and keep them in nice and tight. If you're finding it easy, maybe you could speed the reps up slightly, but keep some control on that lowering face. Always finish off your rep, even if the timer goes. Okay, next up we're gonna go for a tricep exercise. You can take one or both of the dumbbells. I'm just gonna take one for now while I'm warming up. You're gonna bring your elbows together and we're gonna extend overhead. Bring it down nice and low behind you and extend. I actually get the dumbbell to gently touch me on the back and then extend to the top. If you've got some nice hexagonal shaped dumbbells, you could jam them together and have a go at doing a double dumbbell extension. I'll try that on the second round and hopefully it's not too heavy. but feel free to just do a single dumbbell or even a kettlebell if you've got one available. Finish off that rep. And next up, we've got an ab exercise. So we're gonna do some alternating V-ups. So I'm gonna be lying on my back, slight bend in the legs, heels on the floor, hands above the head, brace the core, and let's go. We're alternating sides. When I'm in that open position, I'm not just flopping down, I'm keeping my core tight, stopping my lower back from arching off the floor. I'm keeping a slight bend in the leg, but trying to keep that knee angle consistent throughout this whole set. Ooh. Next up, we've got 1.5 hammer curls. So we're gonna come all the way up to the top, halfway down, back up to the top, then all the way to the bottom. Just follow me. So up to the top, down to halfway, back to the top, all the way to the bottom. So we've got 1.5 down. So we're basically doing a little double pump of the biceps at the top, maintaining a neutral grip throughout. Always finish that rep. Okay, next up we've got some close grip push-ups. Don't worry if you can't do push-ups, you can just do the negative phase. So close grip, I'm gonna bring them shoulder width apart, and we can either go for these full push-ups, keeping the elbows nice and tucked into the sides, or we can go full on the way down and just kneeling reset. So your two options are either full push-ups or just full negative push-ups like this. So you're just doing the lowering phase and then you're just resetting at the bottom. But if you've got these full push-ups the whole time, fantastic. Whoa. That's a tough one. Okay, we're onto your back on the mat for another ab exercise. We're gonna do a variation on a bicycle crunch, but we're gonna do it with a bit more control. Hands on temples. Let's bring opposite elbow to opposite knee, and you're actually stepping your heels off the floor. So you've always got one on the floor, and even when we're in this open position here, we're still keeping that lower back nice and braced to the floor. Great job. So there's one round done, 2 to go in this first section. So we're going to start back with those Zottman curls. If you've got some water, feel free to take a little drink. So we'll repeat the same format for the second section, but I'll give you new exercises. So remember, it's a regular curl on the way up. And then when we get to the top, we're going to pronate and lower with that reverse curl grip. Elbows should be tucked in tight, especially conscious of that when you're in that pronated position. Feeling it a bit more this second round now. You can split your stance like I have if you find that you're tempted to lean back. Always finish the rep. Oh. Okay, we've got, I said I'd go for that double. I'll give it a go with these. So I'm gonna go for that overhead tricep extension. Let's see if I can do it with 2. Oh, we'll get a couple of reps out at least. You could always start like this and maybe drop to just one single dumbbell. Come on, 2 more. So maybe a little bit heavy for me for that. I think with the 10s I might be okay. We've got those alternating V-ups next. But as I said, you could just use a single dumbbell for that. Onto the feet. I've got those 1.5 hammer curls. I'm leaving it till the last second to save my forearms. All right, so full curl, add the half, back to full stretch. Onto the close grip push-ups next. You could do them on the dumbbells as well. If you've got hexagonal dumbbells, I find it a bit easier on my wrists. It's probably a harder push-up variation. So nice close grip today, keeping the elbows tucked in to emphasize the triceps. If you just want to do this negative to knee link reset, that's fine. Or maybe you want to start with full push-ups and finish off with these as you're running out of reps. Ooh. It's a tough one. Okay, we've got those controlled bicycle crunches. I'm gonna keep telling you, but when you're in that open position, don't let your lower back arch off the mats. All right, we've got one final round next. I'm gonna probably drop down to the 10s for those tricep extensions, but I'll try and stick with the 12.5s for all of the other exercises. We'll keep the same dumbbells for the second section. If you've got a variety, you might want to swap down. Curling up, overhand grip, slowly lowering down. Keep that core tight, make sure you're not swinging the hips into it. And always finish your rep, even if the timer goes. Okay, let's try these 10s for the overhead extensions. It might be a bit more manageable. Yeah, that feels a bit better for me. We're just doing this half kneeling position because it helps to avoid an overarch in the lower back. But you could do it standing if you want to save your knees from the pressure. All right, we've got those alternating V-ups next. 1.5 hammer curls. I'll stick with the 12.5 dumbbells for these. Probably one of my favorite exercises for the biceps. I do like a hammer curl. Great for one of the forearm muscles as well, called your brachioradialis. Onto those close grip push-ups. I'm going to do them on the dumbbells again, but whatever variation you're using is fine, whether you're doing negatives or full push-ups. Try and keep a tight core. So a common mistake is to leave the hips behind and almost seal up like that, but we don't want to do that. We want to engage the glutes, keep the belly button drawn in and up, and make sure you're not leaving the hips behind. I'm glad they're over. We've got the bicycle crunches next, and we're doing more of a controlled variation on these today. All right, so we're halfway through now. You can use the same dumbbells, or if you've got slightly lighter, you might want to go down. We're going to do the same format, doing 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off for 3 rounds. I'm going to have a go at using the same dumbbells. If you're enjoying this and you fancy trying out my 12-week dumbbell plan, it's an ebook. It's more of a strength plan. I'll link that in the description of this video, so you can check that out there. It's got video demos for all the exercises and program periodization throughout. We're going to go with a classic curl to start off this second section. So we're just going to curl, squeeze, and slowly lower down. So we're adding a nice big twist, squeezing the biceps at the top, and lowering back down. Next up, we've got a skull crusher, or if you want a nicer name for it, it's a lying dumbbell tricep extension. Well, that's a bit of a mouthful. So we're just gonna only move at the elbow. So we're gonna hinge down. I like to just skim the ears. So if that's too close for comfort, just come close to them. I'm trying to keep my upper part of the arm between the shoulder and the elbow fixed in place. I'm extending to straight, and the upper portion of your arm should basically be vertical the whole way through the set. Maintain a neutral grip throughout. Finish that rep off. Okay, we've got something called an Otis up now. So it's like a reaching sit up. So I'm going to take one of my dumbbells, I'm going to hold it on the sides, I'm going to unlock my knees, and we're going to sit all the way up, posture upright at the top, and then slowly lower back down. So we're going to sit all the way up, posture upright, lengthening the spine, sitting down, and trying to minimize the swing of the dumbbell to maximize the ab work. Fit one more in. Okay, we're gonna go into a kneeling preacher curl now. So I'm actually gonna double my mat up to give me a little bit of a support. We're gonna use the elbow as a backboard, so the knee as a backboard, placing the tricep against it, and we're just curling up. I like to just make gentle contact with the chest and then back down to full extension. But for what I don't want you to do, I don't want you to leave around like that. I want you to keep the tricep just nice and flat against the inside of that thigh. You can support with this other side. Let's finish that rep. And then you can guess we're gonna move to the other side next. So I've got the back of this tricep up against there as a backboard. Just a nice, strict isolation curl. Getting heavy by the end. All right, we're gonna unravel the mat. I'm gonna do a dead bug. This is a great one for the transverse abs. There's two variations I'm gonna show you. You could do the easier variation for most. It's gonna be, let's go the right way, it's gonna be this 90-degree leg dead bug. So I'm sending opposites down. The whole point of this is that your lower back stays pressed to the floor. If you want the harder variation, you can go for this straight leg variation. As you can tell from the start, for me, this coordination can be challenging, but once you've done it a couple of times, you'll get into it. All right, take a break. There's round one of 3 done. So we've got 2 more. Make sure you stay with me. Not too long left. Now, I'm going back to those classic curls. If you need to drop down a weight and you've got the selection, feel free to go down. I'd rather you keep good technique rather than lift a heavy weight. So make sure you add in that twisting. If you want to stagger your stance, that might help stop you throwing your hips forwards into it. All right, we're onto those skull crushers next. Keeping the upper arm fixed, focusing on hinging at the elbows. Make sure your elbows aren't flaring out as you lower the dumbbells down. Try and keep them tucked in. So we're keeping one of the dumbbells for that Otis up, which is kind of like a reaching sit-up. So you want to make sure you're decompressing your spine at the top by posturing upright, lengthening out. If you're struggling, you could just get rid of the dumbbell and keep arms straight. Try not to shoot the arms up like this. We want to try and initiate the movement from the abdominal muscles. But like I said, you don't have to have a dumbbell can do it just as well like this. Let's get one more in. Okay, I'm gonna go into that preacher curl. So I'm gonna double fold the mat just for comfort. On the knee. Remember, you're using that leg as a backboard, not as a lever to hinge up and round. Just using this hand for stability. With all these exercises, you should be lowering with control, and if you can't, you need to go lighter. Right on the limit for me that. Let's take it to the other side. Well done. Onto those dead bugs next. So you can go for the 90-degree knee or the straight leg variation, or you can mix and match the two. Maybe do the first 15 seconds like this, usually slightly more challenging, and then you could do the last 15 in that 90-degree angle position. Your head can stay on the floor for this, and you want to be drawing your belly button in, stopping any excessive arch of your lower back off the mats. Okay, final rest, and then we're into the final round. This is actually part of a 7-day dumbbell series that I've got. It's a repeatable 7-day schedule that you could do for maybe 6 weeks. So if you fancy doing that as a full program, I'll link the next day at the end of this video, as well as linking the whole playlist if you want to check that out. So final round now, we've got these classic curls. So you could speed it up slightly, but we still want to maintain some control on the way down and minimize the body movement. Onto the skull crushers next. Tough last rep that was. Good job, this is the last round. Okay, we've got those Otis ups. So with or without a dumbbell, I don't mind, whichever suits you. Controlling the way down as well. Okay, final 3 exercises. We've got the preacher curl on each side and then the dead bugs to finish. Feeling heavy now. Trying to maintain that control on the way down. Oh, I think that's it. One more rep would have been too many. Let's switch to the other side. Nearly there. Remember, you're using that as a backboard, not as a lever. I want you to focus on squeezing the bicep hard at the top and lowering with control. So the dumbbell's not falling, you're lowering it down. Okay, last exercise now. Just got those dead bugs, and then we're done. As I said before, this is part of a 7-day dumbbell series. So I'll link the next day at the end of this video, as well as the playlist if you want to check that out. If you fancy more of a strength plan with more of a reps and sets style training, check out the ebook, which will be in the description also. And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me for that. Let me know in the comments below, how did you find that workout and where in the world are you following along from? This is part of a 7-day series. So as I said before, if you want to do the next workout, I'll link it here, and I'll link the whole dumbbell series here. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribed, and hopefully see you again soon for another workout.